Mike Rodak, as I mentioned, is covering Manziel. Mike, how committed do you believe Johnny Manziel to be to the CFL?
When I spoke to Manziel, he said that he's not quite calling this his last chance at playing professional football, but he does understand the gravity of the situation for him. And those around here have been impressed with him. He took a red-eye flight over the weekend from Los Angeles, went to Buffalo, had to go through customs, and then finally got to Hamilton, where he had to go straight to press conferences and then meetings. And he's been practicing now 5 straight days this week. So a big adjustment for Johnny Manziel, but he's actually living behind me in these dorms here at McMaster University, a long way from Toronto, a long way from Los Angeles as well. So a much different lifestyle where Johnny Manziel will have to be committed to football for at least the next couple years for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats.
You know, Mike, I mentioned right now he's the backup quarterback. They say that will stand for the entirety of the season. He's one of 5 quarterbacks on this roster. How has he looked to you?
Yeah, he's been pretty accurate the 2 days that I've watched practice here. He went through a no-huddle drill yesterday, went 7 of 8 passing, and then threw a touchdown as well. And a lot of his teammates were quite impressed with that drive. I spoke to Luke Tasker, the son of former NFL player Steve Tasker, and he said it was really Manziel's arm that impressed him on that drive. And Jalen Saunders as well, a former Oklahoma receiver who played against him in college. He said Manziel might actually be better here than he was back at Texas A&M, but a few hiccups along the way. We watched practice today, and there was another drill where Manziel actually forgot to play and was running the wrong play out there. The coach was kind of laughing about it after practice, but certainly some progress here for Johnny Manziel from when he first got here on Sunday, and the arrow is certainly pointing up for him as we head towards the first preseason game of the Tiger-Cats next week.
All right, Mike, thank you. Certainly no shortage of NFL players with CFL ties. Let's take a look at some of the more notable players. How about Hall of Famer Warren Moon? I can say the Edmonton Eskimos, that I can do, which is where he started his pro career before a 17-year NFL career. And then who can forget Doug Flutie? He spent 4 years in the NFL. Before he went to the BC Lions, he was the CFL's most outstanding player 6 times before his return to play 8 more seasons. Jeff Garcia, his CFL career started in Calgary as Flutie's backup. He was Grey Cup MVP in 1998, then hooked on with the NFL, signing with the 49ers, and then he went on to 4 Pro Bowls. And many people forget Cameron Wake. He went undrafted, got his start in the CFL, playing with the BC Lions. He joined the Dolphins in 2009, his 92 sacks, the second most by an undrafted player since that stat became official in 1982. So it does happen.
Don't forget about Bill Polian.
Were you a CFL
Winnipeg
scout?
Blue Bombers.
Or player? Or both?
For the Montreal Grey Cup winning Montreal Alouettes.
Grey Cup winning.
And personnel director for the Grey Cup winning Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
How about that?
Listen, forget that Hall of Fame stuff. There were some Grey Cup winning situations going on long before that.
I love this for Johnny Manziel. I mean, I get it. Everybody's just going to continue to rip him, but
no, I don't think.
I don't think everyone's ripping him.
You don't think so? People are over it? It's not like a joke anymore? Or?
I would disagree to a point. I think everybody wants to see a young person get their life on track.
I hope so.
I think people recognize he's making an evolution and appreciate the fact that he seems to be more humble and willing to go through the steps in the process, and he realizes where he is in his life in terms of rehabilitating on the life side as well.
Good.
Yes.
I guess we told you.
For those that don't know, the Canadian game is vastly different. Wider field, longer field, 3 downs, much more passing game, much more wide open. Johnny will set the league on fire if he decides to apply himself and do the homework that he needs to do. And if he keeps himself clean off the field, he will set the league on fire.
I hope so.
When Ricky Williams went to Toronto, I actually went to Toronto and visited with him there, and he loved it. He loved the environment. He felt invigorated by it. He enjoyed it. And if there's a way to breathe a new passion for the game into Johnny, this might be exactly it.
Well, and you say, Bill, that if he does the right things and approaches this the right way, he'll set that league on fire. Will that translate, or what are the odds it can ultimately translate into a trip back to the NFL?
It doesn't necessarily translate. When Doug Flutie came back to Buffalo and San Diego, he did a great job because he was a veteran and able to meld his game. Johnny has exactly the right coach, June Jones, who's done wonders with quarterbacks at the collegiate level, NFL, all over the place. So he'll be fine in Canada. Whether it translates coming back is, does he come back with the same work ethic that it takes to succeed and the same off-field attitude that it took him to succeed in Canada. He can't coast in professional football. That's the bottom line.
Well, I would hope for a continued positive path for Johnny Manziel and his family, certainly.